Finding a soulmate, most of the men and women, aside from loving each other, they used to find out if they are truly compatible to each other. I have a story from Father Joseph Galdon which is entitled On Compatibility in Love. A lot of our young people says they have a good relationship going because they share the same vibes or because they like the same things. But a lot of those relationships don't last very long. And I've seen also a lot of young people end up very unhappily married even though they didn't go for each other very much when they first met. One wife told me that the other day she didn't like her husband at all when they first met. He was weird, she said. He had such crazy ideas, and I really didn't understand where he was coming from. They've been married for 12 years and have 3 delightful children who think their father is the greatest. So does their mother. Compatibility may help a lot, but you don't build a marriage on compatibility alone. You build it on giving and sacrifice. You build it on love. There are a couple of stories that I always use to illustrate the fact that compatibility is not the most important thing in a marriage. Gibran's statement goes that marriage is not really 2 people become one. That wouldn't mean that one or both of them lose their identity and their individuality. Gibran says that marriage is 2 people standing next to each other, holding hands and looking in the same direction, sharing horizons. As the old song says, although the horizons of each may not exactly coincide. The other story about compatibility is the passage in C.S. Lewis about every man's first friend and every man's second friend. Your first friend, Lewis says, is very much like you. He is your alter ego, the person who first reveals to you that you are not alone in the world by turning up, beyond hope to share all your most secret delights. But if you are lucky, Lewis says, you also have a second friend who disagrees with you about almost everything. Of course, he shares your interests, otherwise he would not become your friend at all. But he has approached them all from different angles. We all have many different friends. The ones who are very much like us, but not too many of us have a friend who is different from us. Our friends usually come from the same school, the same class, and the same company. They like the things we like, and they enjoy what we enjoy. It's a lot harder to love someone who is different. It demands a lot of sacrifice. The problem lies in the fact that most people think compatibility means identity. It doesn't mean that all. In fact, the Latin root from which the word compatibility comes actually means to suffer with, to put up with. That doesn't mean identity at all. In fact, it that doesn't mean identity at all. In fact, it presupposes a lot of differences that you have to suffer with or put up with. Love doesn't mean identity. It is being able to put up with others' differences, to accept them, to understand them. Incompatibility in relationship is actually very good because it challenges understanding and giving. When there are a lot of differences between two people, you've got to do a lot talking about it. You've got to be patient with other person's difference. You can't always dominate and do it your own way. All that patience and all the talking and all that giving make for real love because they make for unselfishness. We always fight over the differences. But after we have worked out the differences, we discover greater depths of love and unselfish concern for others. There are many examples of incompatibility in love. What a great mystery marriage is. St. Paul says, how can anyone understand how two people is as incompatible as a man and a woman can discover love together? One of our theology professors used to say that the greatest incompatibility of all is God and man. How can God possibly love us when He is so different? How can we love Him when we are so full of sin? That God loves us and what we can try to love Him in spite of our basic incompatibility is the greatest of all the miracles of love. Love isn't compatibility. It's giving everything you've got to the one person. That's what God does for us. That's what we ought to do